best time to improve your English is not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, not when you finally gather courage. It is now. Right here, in this very moment, when your heart is still unsure, when your voice still trembles, when your mind is still searching for the right words. Because the truth is, confidence does not come before you start. Confidence is born because you start. I want you to imagine a young girl sitting quietly in a crowded room. People around her are speaking English fluently, laughing, expressing themselves freely, and she sits there, holding her words inside, afraid that if she speaks, she will be judged, afraid that her grammar will break, her pronunciation will stumble, her confidence will shatter. She waits for the right time. She tells herself, one day I will speak like them. But that day never comes, because she keeps postponing it. Now let me ask you something. How many times have you been that person? How many times have you said, I will start from tomorrow? How many times have you opened a book, watched a video, learned a few words and then stopped because it felt difficult? You see, the biggest lie we tell ourselves is that there will be a perfect time. There is no perfect time. There is only now. The best time to improve your English is when you feel uncomfortable speaking it. Because that discomfort is not your weakness. It is your doorway to growth. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a boy who wanted to learn swimming. Every day he would go to the pool, sit by the edge, and watch others swim. He studied their movements, their techniques, their breathing. He thought, once I understand everything perfectly, I will jump into the water. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, but he never jumped, because he was waiting to become perfect before starting. One day, an old man came and asked him, "Why don't you swim?" The boy replied, "I'm not ready yet." The old man smiled and said, "You will never be ready until you get into the water." English is that water. You cannot learn it by watching alone. You cannot master it by waiting. You must step into it even if you feel like you will drown in your own mistakes. Because every mistake is not failure, it is practice. The best time to improve your English is when you make mistakes and still continue. When you say a sentence wrong and then correct it. When you forget a word but try to explain it in another way. That moment, when you struggle, is the moment your brain is learning the fastest. Let me give you a real example from everyday life. Imagine you are in a shop and you want to say, "I want to buy this shirt." But instead you say, "I won't buy this shirt." You realize you missed a word. You feel embarrassed. But then you correct yourself. "I want to buy this shirt." That small correction is powerful. That is learning happening in real time. The best time to improve your English is when you speak, not when you stay silent. There was a young man who used to record his voice every day. His English was broken. His sentences were simple. Sometimes he could not even complete a thought, but he kept recording day after day. At first, when he listened to his recordings, he felt uncomfortable. He did not like his voice. He did not like his mistakes, but he continued. After 1 month, he noticed something. His sentences were becoming clearer. After 3 months, his confidence had grown. After 6 months, he could speak without fear. What changed? Not the time, not the environment, not the people around him. What changed was his decision to start. The best time to improve your English is when you stop caring about perfection and start focusing on progress. Let me paint another picture for you. A girl wakes up early in the morning. She picks up her phone, and instead of scrolling endlessly, she opens a simple English video. She listens carefully. She repeats sentences aloud. At first, her pronunciation is not perfect, but she tries again. She writes down a few new words. She uses them in sentences. In the afternoon, she speaks to herself in English while doing daily tasks. I am making tea. I am going to the market. I need to finish my work. Simple sentences, small steps. At night, she writes a few lines about her day. Not perfect, not fancy, just honest. That girl is not waiting for the right time. She is creating it. The best time to improve your English is when you turn your daily life into your classroom. You do not need expensive courses. You do not need perfect surroundings. You need consistency. Because consistency is more powerful than talent. It is more powerful than intelligence. It is more powerful than motivation. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel like you are not improving, days when you compare yourself to others and feel small. But those are the days that matter the most. Because discipline is not built on easy days. It is built on difficult ones. Let me tell you something very important. Your journey is your own. Do not compare your chapter 1 with someone else's chapter 20. The person who speaks fluently today was once a beginner too. They struggled. They made mistakes. They felt embarrassed. But they did not stop. The best time to improve your English is when you feel like giving up, but you choose to continue. There was a woman who used to cry while studying English. She would read a sentence and not understand it. She would come across words she had never seen before. It felt overwhelming. But every day she told herself, even if I learn one sentence today, it is enough. One sentence turned into 2. 2 turned into 10. Slowly she built her confidence. Not overnight, not instantly, but steadily. Today she speaks with confidence, not because she was naturally gifted, but because she refused to quit. You see, learning English is not just about language. It is about patience. It is about courage. It is about believing in yourself when no one else does. The best time to improve your English is when you decide that your dreams are stronger than your fears. Let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes, fear of being laughed at. These fears are real, but they are also temporary. If you let fear control you, you will stay silent forever. But if you face it, it will disappear. Try this. Next time you feel afraid to speak, speak anyway. Even if your voice shakes, even if your words are not perfect, because every time you do that, you weaken your fear and strengthen your confidence. The best time to improve your English is when you step outside your comfort zone. Comfort zones feel safe, but they keep you stuck. Growth happens when you challenge yourself, when you try something new, when you push your limits. Speak to a friend in English. Write a short paragraph. Watch a video without subtitles. Try to understand. Try to respond. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be brave. Let me give you another simple example. Imagine you learned a new word, opportunity. Instead of just memorizing it, use it. Say, this is a good opportunity. Write, I have an opportunity to learn English. Speak it, write it, repeat it. That is how words become part of you. The best time to improve your English is when you use what you learn. Learning without practice is like collecting tools and never using them. Practice is what turns knowledge into skill. And remember this, small steps matter. You do not need to study for hours every day. Even 15 minutes of focused practice can make a difference. What matters is consistency. 15 minutes every day is better than 3 hours once a week. The best time to improve your English is when you show up daily, even in small ways. There will come a day when you will look back and realize how far you have come. The words that once felt difficult will become easy. The sentences that once felt impossible will become natural. The fear that once held you back will disappear. And on that day, you will not say, "I wish I had started earlier," because you started when it mattered, now. So do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for confidence. Do not wait for someone to push you. Be your own motivation. Be your own reason. Start speaking. Start practicing. Start learning. Because the best time to improve your English is not in the future. It is in this moment. It is in your decision. It is in your action. And if you take that first step today, I promise you, your future self will thank you. And when that future version of you looks back, it won't remember the fear as something that stopped you. It will remember it as something that shaped you. Because growth is never loud in the beginning. It is quiet. It is slow. It is hidden in those moments when you sit alone trying to understand a sentence. It is there when you repeat a word 10 times just to get the pronunciation right. It is there when you pause in the middle of speaking, searching for the right word, and instead of giving up, you keep going. That is where transformation happens. I want you to understand something very deeply. Learning English is not a race. It is not about who speaks fastest or who uses the most difficult words. It is about expression. It is about connection. It is about having the courage to say, "This is who I am and this is what I want to say," even if your words are simple. Because simple English spoken with confidence is far more powerful than complicated English spoken with fear. Let me tell you another story. There was a boy who worked in a small shop. Every day he would see customers come in and speak English. He understood a little, but he could not respond properly. He felt embarrassed. One day he decided to change something. He made a small rule for himself. Every day he would speak at least one sentence in English to a customer. Just one sentence. The first day he said, "Welcome." His voice was low. His confidence was weak, but he said it. The next day he said, "How can I help you?" It was not perfect, but it was progress. Days passed and his sentences became longer. "This product is very good. You can try this one. It is on discount." Slowly he started understanding more. Slowly he started responding faster. After a few months, something incredible happened. He was no longer afraid. He was communicating. He was connecting. What changed his life? Not a perfect course, not a magical method, just one sentence a day. Now think about yourself. What if you made the same promise, not to become perfect overnight, but to improve just a little every day? Because the best time to improve your English is when you decide that even a small effort matters. And let's talk about those moments when you feel like you are not improving. Because they will come. You will study, you will practice, and still feel stuck. You will feel like you are not moving forward. But listen carefully. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not happening. Think about a plant growing underground. You water it every day, you take care of it, but for days you see nothing. It feels like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are growing, strength is building, and one day, suddenly it breaks through the soil. Your English journey is the same. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, every mistake you correct, it is all building your foundation. And one day, your confidence will rise, your fluency will appear, and people will say, "Wow, you speak so well." But they will not see the struggle behind it. They will not see the days you felt like quitting but didn't. That is your story. The best time to improve your English is when no one is watching, but you still choose to show up. Let me give you something practical, something you can start doing right now. Talk to yourself. Yes, it may sound strange, but it is one of the most powerful tools you have. Describe your day in English. Ask yourself questions. Answer them. Create conversations in your mind. For example, what am I doing right now? I am studying. What will I do next? I will practice speaking. These small conversations train your brain to think in English, and when you start thinking in English, speaking becomes easier. Another simple step: stop translating everything from your native language. Instead, try to understand directly in English. At first, it will feel difficult, but slowly your brain will adapt. The best time to improve your English is when you change your habits, not just your intentions. Because intentions without action lead nowhere. But small daily actions can change everything. And I want to remind you of something very important. You do not need to be perfect to start. You just need to be willing. Willing to try. Willing to fail. Willing to learn. Because failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Every mistake you make is a step forward. Every time you feel uncomfortable, you are growing. Every time you push yourself, you are becoming stronger. So do not run away from mistakes. Embrace them, learn from them, grow through them. The best time to improve your English is when you stop fearing mistakes and start using them as your teachers. And one day, you will find yourself in a conversation. You will speak without overthinking. You will express your thoughts clearly. You will understand others easily. And in that moment, you will smile. Because you will realize you did it. Not because it was easy, not because it was quick, but because you stayed consistent. So I ask you again, what are you waiting for? The time will never be perfect. The conditions will never be ideal. The fear may never completely disappear, but you can still start right now with one word, with one sentence, with one small step, because the best time to improve your English is not someday, it is today. And today is enough to begin.